I made 28,500 Australian dollars here in Perth. Yes, you can make a lot of money here in Australia, but nobody talks about the risk and the hidden costs that come along with it. If I would have known what it would have led to in my private life, in my work life, then I probably would have never done it. And I want to explain how I got the job and what risks are involved when you're working here in FIFO or in construction in general. I did not arrive in Australia to travel and work. I solely came with the purpose to grind as much as possible and work as much as possible and save as much as possible as quickly as I can. That's why I was watching a lot of YouTube videos, tutorials, guides, and I was watching like job applications, job offers on Seek, Indeed in Australia. I looked into the tickets and licenses I need here. My mindset was, if it doesn't feel like it is a job when I'm trying to get a job, I'm not trying hard enough. So on the third day I arrived here in Australia, I was already doing licenses and tickets that I needed for the jobs I had in mind. I was literally working around 8 to 12 hours a day to look for job offers on Seek, Indeed, Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, was talking to agencies, calling them, emailing them, following up, try to talk to as many as I can to see if there is something available, because you often get in through connections as well. I did walk-ins, I tried literally everything that could come to your mind. At the end, I had 3 job offers on my table and I was like, wow, this went way better than I thought. The first job offer was as a driller offsider for a mining company. The second job offer was as a driller offsider as well, but for the metro. They are making a lot of subways and stuff here in Perth. And the third offer was as a painter blaster at a CBH site close to Northam. And I took that one because it was good money, 50 bucks an hour. I got a food allowance and a free accommodation. Yes, it was a very tight project, like basically 2 months on site. But for me, it was like, in my head, it was like, I can grind real bad. I can save a lot of money. The work schedule was crazy. We worked 12 hours from Monday till Friday. Saturday was a bit of a gamble. It was usually between 8 to 12 hours, but more on the higher end. And we worked one Sunday through, which was extra pay, which was good for the savings. And because you're working so much and basically have no free time, I wasn't even able to spend a lot. So I was saving and saving each week. I was working for 2 years in construction in Austria and as a signage installer. We had a lot of weeks where we worked 60 plus hours. My record is 92 hours in a week. That's why I thought, okay, I got this. But painting and blasting with this schedule, with this many hours for 2 months straight, was way harder than I thought. It was definitely the hardest work I've ever done in my life. It is like high vibration. Like you have a water blasting gun and grab it with 2 hands and it has a lot of vibration, a lot of pressure as well. Like it is literally pushing you back. If you're not holding it right, you're gonna fall back. And if you're going too close to concrete, it is literally ripping apart the concrete. That's how intense this work was. So there is a reason why it is paid well, because it is high risk and a lot of hours. And of course you need to focus most of the time, because if you're slipping with that high pressure gun and you're hitting your foot, oh, that's a goodbye pretty quick, depending on how you hit it. My life looked completely different than it is shown on social media. On social media, you just see like some nice footage of mines or oil rigs and all the food, great accommodation. But fuck, man, this is hard work. This is literally as tough as it gets. And my life, I wouldn't even call it life. For these 2 months, I was just working. Besides work, I maybe bought groceries, was cooking, doing laundry, maybe went to the gym, and it was insane how much I was sleeping. I was sleeping between 9 to 10 hours a day. It makes sense because if you work 12 hours, if you're having 20,000 plus steps a day, if it is very exhausting and straining on the body, your body needs the rest and recovery as well. And on the Sunday, you know, same thing. Meal prep, food, groceries, laundry, videos. Day was over. That's it. I didn't have a lot of entertainment time, socializing time whatsoever. I was just working. And that's one of the other big downsides not a lot of people talk about, which is the isolation fact. Like, you're isolated so much because the only thing you're doing is work. And before work, you need to eat. After work, you need to eat, shower. And then there is basically no time left. You need to drive to site, come back from site. Almost no personal interactions. I was calling or texting to only a handful of people, and the messages on WhatsApp just accumulated. And then there was the biggest turning point of this project. I injured myself. It is basically a tunnel that is going here through the wrist, and all the tendons swollen from the vibration and the pressure. Because all the tendons swollen, the nerve got compressed. And because of that, I got numbness, pins and needles, pain in both wrists. Back then, in the middle of the project, I didn't know how serious it was. The GP, hospital, and the others, they were just on the way on finding out what it actually was. Okay, hey, let's just go through it, and might not be that bad. Because I had it before in Austria on construction. Maybe your knee hurts a bit, your shoulder hurts a bit. Give it a bit more rest, or a couple of days pass and it gets better again. But not this time. This time it got worse. And just way worse. I tried to keep on working, then I got some inflammation tablets, antibiotics, and all that kind of stuff. And it got better for some time, but it just stalled it a bit longer, the symptoms, and then it came back even stronger. And if I would have known how serious this is, obviously I would have stopped right then. And looking back, that was a mistake. I should have listened to my body and just stopped it, but we didn't know it was that severe. Now I'm dealing with this since over half a year. I have a lawsuit going on with the insurance from my old company because they don't want to pay for the operation, but it is a work-related injury. I got steroid injections where they are putting a big needle in there and putting in some fluid. Then I wasn't able to use both of my wrists for 6 weeks. Then I had a surgery here now. I can't train my upper body. Most of my hobbies that I have, playing guitar, playing volleyball, rock climbing, and going to the gym, training my upper body, all of that is not possible. And it had a severe impact, not just on my physical body, like on my mental as well. One of the boring things I actually sorted before I started traveling was my travel medical insurance. I had SafetyWing from the first day I left. Because when you're moving between countries, filming, traveling, trying to build a life overseas, it didn't want to wait until something goes wrong to think about it. The plan I used is SafetyWing's Nomad Insurance Essential, which is a travel medical insurance, options for travelers and nomads. Depending on the policy, it can help with things like reliable medical expenses abroad, emergency medical evacuations, coverage while you move between many countries, and it can also include travel-related things like lost luggage and travel days. This is not about the FIFA work injury, and it does not replace workers' compensation. For me, it is more about the travel side of being overseas and having something practical set up before you need it. I collaborated with SafetyWing on this video, so if you want to check it out, you can scan the QR code on the screen or use the link in the description. Read the policy details yourself and make sure it fits your own trip. And that's what it comes back to. The money was exceptional. I've never earned so much money, I've never saved so much money, because the accommodation was free and I got a food allowance. But at what cost? Now, after over half a year, I have struggles with my wrist. I have still symptoms which I might have now for a lifetime. It is not worth it. Yes, you only see the people that succeed or the people that make social media videos. They make a lot of money, they have the best life, they live in a hotel and get the best food. That is an illusion. They are selling a dream. Yes, part of it is true. But do you know how many people I see in the hospital or at the surgeon or in the rehab providers' practices? How many people there are young and how many people have carpal tunnel or other injuries that are just coming from too much vibration, overstraining it. Most of the people I saw there were young, like literally between 20 and 35, I would say. And I talked to the surgeon and he tells me as well, driller offsiders or people who work in construction and FIFO, that is what he gets the most. And for me, I was a fit person. I was above average fit. My life is around fitness. Before I did this job, I was working in construction and going to the gym. I'm going to the gym since 4 years. I had a lot of muscle, I was benching a lot, squatting a lot, and I still got injured because at some point it's just too much to handle for the body and almost doesn't matter who you are. Keep that in mind when you're thinking about going into FIFO and to getting a job. Yes, of course, not all sites involve a 2-month on-site work, you know, that was maybe an extreme case. But even for people who are just working 2 weeks, 12 hours a day and have 1 week off, those people get injured as well. Jobs where you're operating a crane, operating a truck, a roller, whatever it is, then yes, the risk of injury is lower, but it still has a dramatic impact on your social life, on your private life, on your mental, and on your body. That is just something you need to keep in mind if you're thinking about just the money. Because if you're doing that, you might end up in an even worse position than before. And of course, the most common injuries are like something with the shoulders, knees, wrists. Of course, things where you have high pressure involved, vibration involved. Those are definitely jobs where there is a higher risk. So to sum it up, would I recommend going into FIFO? Obviously, it depends. And it really depends on how risky you are, how fit you are before you're starting it. If you are willing to maybe trade your health for money. If I could go back in time, obviously I would have stopped once I had symptoms, or maybe even go for an operating role instead. Maybe doing something like driving a truck, operating a crane, something like that, you know, because the risk of injury is significantly lower. So yes, I made 28,500 bucks in 2 months. Insane money. But it came at a very high price, and it is something I wouldn't actually recommend to most people. If you're looking now for a job in Australia, I would think about how much can I earn? How will my life look roundabout? Do I have still social interactions or not? How straining is it to my body? Can I even do this job? That was basically my experience working in FIFO. And it really depends on you if you want to go for this risk or not. Anyway, if you want to get into it, I made a video about how to get into FIFO, and you could watch that right now.